Hello. Thank you for tuning into this 2022 Election Candidate Forum for Thurston County Clerk. This forum is presented by the League of Women Voters of Thurston County in collaboration with Thurston Community Media. The League of Women Voters is proud to be nonpartisan, neither supporting nor opposing candidates or political parties at any level of government, but we are always working on vital issues of concern to members and the public to defend our democracy and empower voters. I'm Allison Brooks from the League, and I will be moderating this forum. Our timekeeper is Karen Tweet. The candidates are Tonya Moore and Linda Enlow. For this forum, each candidate will have the opportunity to answer a series of questions. The first question will be to the candidates in alphabetical order, and then will be alternated so that each has the chance to start first. Candidates will also have a chance to ask their opponent a question. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to questions. The timer will show when 15 seconds or less, and then we'll show a stop sign when time is up. If you don't notice the sign, I will tell you when your time is up. For the first question, I will begin with Linda Enlow. Question 1. Why are you the best candidate for this position?
Well, I want to let you know that I have been in the office serving as the Chief Deputy Clerk for 21 years, and this is my third term running. I'm very passionate about what I do in this job. I want to ensure that the clerk's office, when I retire, I turn it over in good shape and ready for my successor. I take pride in everything that I do in working with the court, collaboratively with the judges and law enforcement agencies. I'm proud of my accomplishments. I'm setting up the case management system for the state. That was very successful. We've had multiple upgrades. I look forward to providing better services for domestic violence victims, creating forms that better suit those individuals and assist them in their trial of their life.
Thank you. Tonya Moore, why are you the best candidate for this position?
Thank you. I'm the best candidate for this position because I've been working in Superior Court for 25 years. The clerk's office supports Superior Court, and so I know what kind of support is needed by the clerk's office for the judges. Also, because I have worked with Superior Court for 25 years, I have a really great working relationship with the judges and other stakeholders that I can bring over as the clerk to work on issues such as access to justice, customer service, language access on documents, and those things. I also have a leadership component that, I'm so sorry. I'm also a leader in my job. And as a leader, I want to take that and bring it to the clerk's office so that the staff can feel like they have someone who's in the office that has their best interests at stake.
Thank you both. Okay, for the second question, I will begin with Tonya Moore. Question 2. What is your top priority for administering the clerk's office?
My top priority is customer service. When people come to the clerk's office, they're in a traumatic state. It doesn't matter if they're going through a messy divorce, if their neighbor is suing them because of a line dispute, that's traumatic to them at that point. And so the customer service should be surrounded with informed trauma. And I want the clerks in the clerk's office to go through informed trauma training so that they can provide a more better customer service to those. When people are in trauma, we know that they don't process information like you would if you're not in trauma. So that to me is a number one priority. I also want to make sure that the clerks understand that they are also could be subjected to informed trauma because they're sitting in court, they're listening to these things that are going on, and they may not recognize things within themselves that affect them because of the things that they've heard in court. So that's my number one priority.
Thank you. Linda Enlow, what is your top priority for administering the clerk's office?
Well, my top priority is ensuring that my staff is trained properly to serve the citizens of this county, as that's one of my main duties. Recently, I've had not a large turnover, but I've struggled with getting applicants to apply because the pay in Thurston County has been lower than other jurisdictions. So training those new employees to ensure that they can do a proper job for the court and meet the needs of the court is very important. I've had as many as 6 new employees in training at a time, and it can be very difficult, especially when 2 of my managers are fairly new also. So we're not only training the managers, but also ensuring that the staff is properly serving the citizens of this county.
Question 3. What administrative and personnel management experience will you bring to managing the clerk's office?
Well, I'm a certified public official, having gone through training through Thurston County 8 years ago to become certified. I'm also a certified court manager through the National Center for Court Managers, completing my training. I think that was an extensive 2-year training. I completed that in 2014. I bring my many years of being a leader as chief deputy in the office and as serving the citizens as clerk for the last 2 terms. Thank you.
Thank you. Tonya Moore, what experience in personnel and administrative management will you be bringing to the office?
I'm currently the court operations manager for Superior Court, and I also have the court manager certification through the Institute of Court Management. I have always been in a lead position in every position I've ever been in. I was with Pierce County Superior Court for 15 years. There I was the lead judicial assistant. In Thurston County, I was hired on as a judicial assistant. I was the first lead judicial assistant, and then I'm now the first court manager. So I'm bringing a background of managing people, projects, to the clerk's office.
Thank you. The 4th question goes first to Tonya Moore. Question 4. As more litigants are accessing the courts without lawyers, pro se, what specific actions would you implement to assure equal access to everyone, particularly those with sensory limitations or limited English?
So the clerk's office, well, the court has what's called the language line that can be utilized when people come in and English is a barrier. My staff can call the line, tell them what language they need, put it on speaker so that they can conversate with someone. What I would put in place is making sure that forms are accessible in different languages other than just English. I would also like to create a resource sheet and work with local nonprofits and legal clinics to come up with a resource sheet to give people when they come in so that they know what the resources are for them without representation.
Thank you. Linda Enlow, and if you need me to repeat the question,
Yes.
I can.
Yes, please.
Repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Okay, now I have to get out my glasses.
Oh, no, sorry.
As more litigants are accessing the courts without lawyers, pro se, what specific actions would you implement to assure equal access to everyone, particularly those with sensory limitations or limited English?
Well, first off, I have a facilitator program that works with those individuals who choose to represent themselves. I will be expanding that program to include guardianships. The forms have changed statewide, making it a little more difficult for the litigants. So I want to ensure that there are the services provided to those individuals, which includes forms packets that help walk individuals through the process. As far as languages go, if there is a need, there is the service, as Tonya mentioned, that is available to assist those during that process. I do have one employee that does speak Spanish and is able to help those individuals, which is the majority of different languages that we do encounter. Thank you.
Thank you. The 5th question goes first to Linda Enlow. Question 5. Please describe the types of fees the clerk is responsible for collecting and how you would equitably carry out this function in consideration of varying abilities to pay. What is the typical annual total of these fees, and how are the funds handled?
So the clerk by statute is authorized and required to charge filing fees, processing fees, copy fees for documents, certified copy fees. Those are all governed by, as I said, statute. There are means by which an individual who cannot pay a filing fee can request that their fee be waived by submitting the proper paperwork and the judge reviewing, and if the judge so chooses, can waive that fee. As far as the total number, I don't know that. I would have to look that up and ask my financial people. I'm sorry, I can't answer that one. Thank you.
Thank you. Tonya Moore, the fifth question for you. Do you want me to repeat the question, or are you fine?
I'm fine.
Great.
So it's my understanding that a lot of those fees are set by statute. So as far as I'm so sorry. As far as making them equitable among people, I don't think as the clerk I can do that, but the parties could go before a judge to ask for things to be waived or modified. But as the clerk, you can't waive fees.
Thank you. Thank you both. The sixth question goes first to Tonya. Question 6. What steps would you recommend to improve the accessibility of court records to the public, litigants, and other court clients? How might the limitations of the Odyssey program be reduced or overcome?
That's a good question. Odyssey actually made it a lot easier for people to access records because they didn't have to come into a physical building. I think the only way to expand it more would be to allow people to, well, actually, they already do that. They can e-file documents. Previously, before the pandemic, I don't think self-represented parties could, but now they can. The one thing that I would look into is how to make the system more compatible for people with ADA issues, and making sure that there's enough computers within the clerk's office for people who want to come in to review the Odyssey system so that there's not a wait. And I want to make sure that there's one also available for people that are in wheelchairs, so that they can be comfortable while they're looking up cases.
Thank you. Linda Enlow, you are next. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I'm fine.
Great.
Thank you. So currently, recently I've actually expanded the e-filing system to make it easier for self-represented or pro se litigants to access records. I am now in the process of modifying our the way to purchase documents, whereby someone from home could actually view part of the document to see if it's the document they want to purchase, and do that online. Currently, they have to email our office and request those documents and be told how much the cost is. So I'm real excited to be able to provide that to the public. Also, I do have 4 terminals in each office where an individual can come in and bring up their case file, look at the documents, print off what they want, and purchase certified copies. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Linda and Tonya, you now have an opportunity to ask your opponent a question, and we are going to begin with Linda Enlow. The question must be stated within 30 seconds, and opponents have 1 minute to respond. Linda, you can ask your question.
Well, Tonya, I don't have a question, but I just want to say how nice it's been to have an opponent that I don't feel is going to be attacking and doing some of the things that I hear in other campaigns. So thank you. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Tonya, now you have the ability to ask a question of Linda.
No, actually, I was going to say the same thing. I really don't have a question. It's been nice running a race against you, and this isn't personal.
Nope.
You know, I just really want to move over from being in Superior Court to the clerk's office to expand my knowledge and to take on a new challenge.
And I want to thank both of you for being so kind to each other. You both are absolute symbols of how candidates running against each other should behave. So thank you for that. And thank you, Tonya Moore and Linda Enlow, for participating in this forum. We thank TC Media for producing it. Expect to receive your ballot mid-October. Voting begins on October 21st and must be mailed or placed in a ballot box by 8 p.m. on November 8th. You can register to vote online through October 31st at vote.wa.gov and in person until 8 p.m. at the Thurston County Auditor's Office on November 8th. We encourage our viewers to be a voter in the primary election. Thank you for joining us today.